It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert. Is there a curtain here? Is there not a curtain here?
Yes.
Oh,
Today
there is a curtain. Audio listeners have no idea. Well, here on Reality Alert, I'm Max Geyser. This is Ben Overzet, and we have our special guest, Javen, today. Javen, how are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, right before we started, we figured out finally how to pronounce Javen's name. So good for us.
The more, you know what? Yeah, the more you say it, the easier it will become. So
we actually just interviewed Katisha, so we could get some dirt on you before we interviewed you. And she was saying it a lot, and I was like, "That sounds right. I think it is Javen." You know? Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know that we'd be interviewing you right after either. We said at the end of the interview, we were like, "Do you have any questions for him?"
Yeah.
He was like,
how dare you? How could you? Why would you? Javen, how did you end up on Love is Blind?
Yeah, good question. So essentially, they reached out to me. They DM'd me on Instagram, and then from there, at first I just thought, as a joke, you know, I get a lot of these DMs about, do you want to do this show, do that show? And I just usually ignore them, or I just leave them alone. I used to think it was a scam. I thought it was a scam. Mm-hmm. And then, one day I was just like, you know, I'm going to take the piss. Let me message back as a joke, message back. And then they called me, like I gave them my number, obviously. Then they called me and I was like, oh, this is real. And then there's like multiple stages, and like every stage, I always said, oh, I'm not going to get to the next stage. There's probably thousands of people doing this. At this time, Love is Blind season 1 hadn't even been out yet in the UK. So, so I was just thinking, then one day I get an email saying, I'll come to London, meet the producers. Go to London. And then I met the producers. And then that's when I was like, oh, this is getting serious. But I still thought that, after this, I'm probably not going to get to the next stage. Then like 3 weeks after that, I get an email saying, oh, you've been accepted into Love is Blind. You need to kind of make a decision in the next couple of days to let us know. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, should I do this? I called my one of my best friends, and then I called my sister, and then they were like, no, go for it. So I just thought, you know what? I'll go for it. Why not?
What did your Instagram look like at the time that these different shows were reaching out to you? Because your current Instagram is kind of like business related. It's kind of like some AI pictures of you, it almost looks like. Was it this Instagram?
No, I got another Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got like a private one that's like, well, not private, it's actually public, but it's like friends and family and just people that I know. So originally the Instagram that everyone probably sees was like a fitness page when I was coaching. So they reached out on the other Instagram, which is even more surprising because that one barely had any followers as well. So yeah.
What do you think attracted them to you? Was it like workout pictures and stuff? Was that the situation?
My pretty smile, man. What else? No, I have no idea. I have no idea. I just think that with the casting teams, like they have like really big teams, and they do street casting, social media, like it's like a sales job, like sales role where you just like outbound, you just messaging.
Yeah.
So it's a volume game.
Mm-hmm. What here's what I was gonna say. What's up with the smiling thing? Why do you smile so much, do you think?
Yeah, are you really that happy? Nobody's that happy.
Yeah, nobody's that happy. Why do you smile so much?
Come on.
Lads, I'm always happy, man. I think there's some people in life that are constantly upset and depressed. Me, I'm just someone who's constantly I'm constantly happy. Even in difficult moments. I'm always thinking about how can I turn this into a good moment. I see a lot of people say that, I'm always smiling, but I just think like, do you want me to be sad and upset and depressed? No, I just like to smile, man. I think it's good for you.
Does your mom ever say that when you came out of the womb that you came out smiling instead of crying? Not a thing.
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask her.
Okay,
I'll send her a message. She's here. I'm at her house today, so.
So, what drew you to Katisha? in the pods?
Good question. So I think what I felt during that moment, or during the moments in the pods, was over time, because initially she wasn't my top choice. I enjoyed my dates with her, but obviously, as you guys know, it's 11 days of dating. The dates get longer each day, and she just every day was just getting like higher and higher on my list. And specifically, what drew me to her, I would say, number one, she was like very open and vulnerable. There's a lot of traits about her that I like. She's very family orientated. She got a big family. She's always looking after her family. She's very ambitious. At the time, she was working on a business that we spoke a lot about, actually. And so I was really, and obviously I'm someone who I love like trying to start little businesses, side hustles and stuff like that. So I was very appreciative of that. Another thing, and this is something that, I don't know, I guess can sound a little bit weird, but to some degree, because she had opened up so much to me about her childhood, relationship with her parents, I sort of felt like a little bit of like a savior complex, which that sounds a bit weird, but like, I just felt like, oh, I could protect this woman, I could look after her. And yeah, like that amongst other things, yeah, just kind of really drew me towards her.
Sorry, a savior complex? Like, like I get what you're trying to say. So wait, so who was your top pick to start off with?
I can't remember specifically, but I do remember like having Sarova quite high on my thing. Megan, but Megan, I think all the guys enjoyed dating Megan. She was like someone that everyone enjoyed dating.
I think you said on another podcast that when your final two were Katisha and Megan.
Yeah. When it got down to it, yeah, Katisha and Megan. Another girl named Holly, which you guys wouldn't have got to see. Sophie was on there, and another girl called Lowell. I actually enjoyed my dates with Lowell. That was it, really. That was it.
So Demla very early on tells you that he is interested in Katisha, but do you remember at what point he learned that you were into Katisha? Like, when did you tell him, or did he figure it out?
That's a good question. I don't know, because it's funny, because I was just looking at a conversation me and Demla had when the show first aired. I don't know specifically when he would have known, because he knows like when he told me at the start that she wasn't even in my top at the time, because we got a message that where they're showing it on the screen where I ask him, and they're almost like, you know, TV and TV magic, they make it look as if I'm thinking about him telling me, oh, she's my number one. But that was the first day, and she wasn't my number one on the first day. So we had a message back and forth where he was like, they've cut it like this, but
so that timeline was totally
different. Yeah. So I can't remember specifically, but it would have been like in the middle stages. So obviously it's 11 days, so it would have probably been around day 5, day 6, where he probably knew that it was me.
Once she was moving into your top, did you straight up tell him?
No, but we never told each other, really. So like once it was kind of clear that she was still his top option and she was my top option, we never discussed her. Like, we never talked about her in the lounge.
So do you think that he was love bombing her or no?
Everyone asks me this question. Do I think he was love bombing her? No, I think that's just his style, you know, the way he was expressing himself. But that love bombing comment, I mean, I don't want to keep going on about the way it's edited, but it wasn't how it seemed. It wasn't the way that it looks, as if like he's standing right there, then I'm just saying it to Jed, and then Jed laughs. Like, no, it didn't actually happen like that. And it wasn't just about him, because I didn't even know at that time. I didn't know he was the one giving gifts. I didn't know he was giving gifts. Yeah, so all I had known is that there were people that had given gifts, because Kieran had given a gift really early in the process, and then Demila had given a gift, but I didn't know the individuals who had given gifts. I just knew that gifts were given. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and then even then as well, I didn't know you could even give gifts. So I didn't know you could go to the producers and be like, hey, send this girl a gift. I didn't know that was a part of the rules.
So was playing it cool your like strategy going into the experiment, did you think like, I'm just going to play it cool while everybody else makes grand gestures? Or is that just, the way you are? Like, what do you think about this?
I think that everyone, because of how intense it is, I think everyone handles it differently. For me personally, I didn't want to do too much, and I wanted to keep all my options open as much as I could towards the end, because you kind of got two strategies or two ways of playing it, right? And there's some guys who they kind of put their flag in the sand very early. Like Kieran, he gave the gift to Megan like very early. It was kind of clear he's put all his eggs in one basket. But there's other guys that try to do something similar, but the girl was already interested in someone else. Yeah. So for me, I just thought, you know what? Let me keep my options open as much as I can until it becomes really clear to me who I want to go for. So, and then in regards to like gestures and stuff, I guess ultimately you could look at it like love languages, right? And for me, I'm not someone that, it's not that I don't give gifts to people. It's just that for me, I'm someone who sees the value in doing things for people. And I think when I'm with a woman, I personally see value in making her life easier. I like to do things for people. That's just my way of showing love, I guess. And obviously in that process, you can't really do anything for anybody. So that's kind of what I explained to her. Like, that's just not the way that I see things. Because in another breath, you get men who do a lot of gift giving and they still treat women like shit. Oh, can I swear?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah. You got guys that could that might do a lot of gift giving and stuff like that and still treat women like shit. So
yeah.
I
was curious when you said you got recruited. Mm-hmm. You messaged back just like for a laugh. At what point in this process did things change tonally for you, or did it? Like, when you went into the pods, were you still like, this is kind of a funny bit that I'm doing? I'm on Love is Blind.
No. I think it was after there's like a series of casting calls that you do. So it's like Zoom. It's like over Zoom. They ask you to kind of like be in a certain setup. They even ask you to dress up. So after the initial casting call, and then when I got an email to go into London, second casting call, then I got email to go into London. That's when I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, this is a bit more serious. And then going through the casting and, oh, it's a legal marriage. Like, yeah, you actually have to sign papers. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is serious. I'm gonna give it a go.
So at that point, you really did start thinking I could end up getting married by the end of this process. Was that like a real tangible thing for you?
I think
going into it then?
I don't think anybody, I mean, unless you're ridiculously optimistic, I don't know if anybody truly believes they're going to go in it and get married. If they do, I mean, then I think I'm an optimistic person. They're probably more optimistic than me, because there's 15 guys and 15 girls. You've got to get the perfect match. That's a pun, isn't it? That's a new Netflix show. But yeah, in the 15 guys and 15 girls, like, the odds of you getting the perfect match is very difficult. Out of 30 people, there's one married couple left. So I don't know. And last season, out of 30 people, there's 2 married couples left. So in the UK one anyway. So it's not that I never went in there with this like 100% belief that, oh, I'm going to get married. Right. I went in there with the belief that I'm going to give it my best shot and be as open in the process as possible, so that if I find the right connection, I want to put myself in the best possible position to get married.
What percentage would you say was it a possibility that you were going to get married? When you first went into the pods, your mindset, what percentage were you thinking at the time?
I mean, I didn't think I was even going to get out the pods.
Zero?
I guess, yeah, you could say 0. I didn't think I'd get out the pods. So
okay. Yeah.
Because they couldn't see your smile, and that's what you were banked on.
That amongst other things.
That's a big part of it. Yeah.
So when you decide to stay and finish your drink after Katisha told you she picked Demolo, was that like a Hail Mary move for you? Did you?
That's a great question. But if you actually listen to what I say, when she says she's going to go with her other connection, I say, oh, that's fine. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I can't remember exactly my exact words, but it was like, yeah, no, that's fine. You know, you got to make your own decision, blah, blah, blah. That's totally fine. And then I say, yeah, I'm going to finish my drink, but you can go if you want to. So I'm giving her the out. Like, you can leave because I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna finish my drink. The reason I even stayed is just because at the time, basically, what was happening is a lot of people were like walking out their dates, and I guess without spoiling stuff, like the powers that be don't want you to do that. Like, they want you to just try and complete it, even if it doesn't go the way you want it to go. You can still have a friendly chat. So in my mind,
Sure.
I'm a team player. I'm just like, whatever. All right, cool. I can stay in there. It wasn't so much of an emotional dagger that I felt like I need to get up and leave. It was just like, well, I'll just stay. I'll finish the drink, whatever. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. So it was that, really. And then she stayed. So it wasn't like at that stage, I checked out, because once she said she's gone in the other direction, I just checked out.
I gotta say, it's fascinating to hear your responses to these questions right after we got to Katisha's.
Yeah,
because Katisha in this moment was thinking, I kind of want to stick around because he's sticking around, because maybe he's gonna give me something more. Maybe we're gonna get closure out of this, or maybe he's gonna make some extra big step. But you're saying you were just being a team player with production to stick around for ending it.
Yeah, but she just told me that she's gonna go with her other connection. I'm essentially been dumped. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
as a viewer, though, I really felt like you were kind of like negging her and like pulling like a move, being like, okay, well, I'll just hang out here and like you can go, but you know, I'm right here. The prize is right here, but you're walking out on the prize. Okay.
Let me put it this way. Anyone that's ever dumped me, yeah, I promise you,
no one.
Jav's never chased them. So it's nothing to do with her. It's just that
the third person now. Okay.
It's just that it's not something that I would do, because once you kind of show that you don't want me, I'm just like, well, whatever. Like, it's fine. It's actually fine. It's better that way, because that's fine. I'd rather you tell me. So in a way, it was just like, well, I'll finish my drink. I still had quite a lot of the drink to go. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. That's why I even said it that way, because I didn't want her to feel like she had to stay.
So it was mostly about the drink.
Okay, but then why did you read her your notes about her?
Because she stayed.
Okay.
So once she confirmed that she was staying, then it was like, okay. So from that point, it was like, well, we'll just have a friendly chat and we'll leave it there. So I was like, let's go down memory lane. Let's go through the notes. Now on the show, you guys see me read like 2 lines, but I promise you,
they weren't very flattering, the notes that we heard either.
I promise
like, you were there, I was here. It was
we spoke to each other.
At that point, it was like day 7 or day 8. There was pages and pages of notes, but Netflix cut half of that out, and then they even cut out the bit where she reads her notes back to me, which was such a romantic moment. And I would without getting in trouble. That kind of that moment actually exemplifies the way that we weren't shown, because like that was a whole moment, and they kind of cut it down to like me saying 2 lines.
Katisha expressed similar feelings too, that she felt that there was a lot that was edited out too. Yeah,
there was a lot that was left out, but I mean, they got to make a show, so.
Yeah. So we feel that Katisha was interviewed her, and we felt that we saw like a completely different person than we saw on the show, than the person we interviewed. Were you surprised to see how she came off on the show?
That's a good question. No one's asked me that so far. I would say the way that she was in the show, I think that she found the filming side of things difficult. I did too, but I think she found it a bit more difficult than me. And sometimes we'd have conversations off camera, then they'd be prompting her to like rehash this conversation on camera. And I think she found it difficult to just do it all over again. So I think there was that. But that's a difficult question. I don't know if I have a good answer for you on that one.
Mm-hmm. You also seem a little different, I have to say. You seemed a lot less talkative than you do on social media and in interviews. Can you comment on that? Have you noticed that at all?
Well, They edited.
Yeah, they edited out all of your talking.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
you were talking a lot, and they just cut it.
I mean, I'm someone that is quite expressive, and I like to try and get my ideas across. So, and that's in probably sometimes I over explain myself, and that's always been me. So when I'm watching it and I'm like, fucking no, that didn't happen like that. Sorry,
Yeah.
I can swear, right? Sorry,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
you
yes.
can. You're good.
I'm watching it and I'm like, bro, that didn't happen like that, bro. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So for me, watching it, that's why I don't get too upset or emotional about like the backlash on social media, because I'm like, I know what really happened, and I'm a secure person, so I don't really need to get too dragged into the negativity.
Right.
So yes, to answer your question, yeah, I look at it and I'm like, well, that's me, but you guys pretty much cut everything that I said, and also didn't provide context to certain elements. So, but that's TV, man. I don't think you got to take it. You got to take it with a grain of salt, you know.
Right. They're gonna form a narrative and run
they
with
have
it.
to. It's television, and I think the less you think about it, the less you get wrapped up and emotional about it, like the easier it is to kind of just keep it moving. Because the reality is, another way to look at it for me is like, okay, everyone might think I'm this bad guy with no feelings and he's nonchalant and zero effort, but the truth is that this season would have been boring if I wasn't there. So, you take your wins where you can.
You got a point. Yep.
You got a point. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
I'm here for the people, man.
Yeah. So, speaking of TV edits, so the way that we see things go down is Katisha tells Demla that she's made up her mind. She's going to be with him. And then she has this date with you, and you turn out changing her mind. And then you come out of the date looking happy. And in the edit, Demla sees this. He sees you come into the men's quarters. Did this happen? Like, did Demla see you come into the men's quarters looking happy?
So, well, can we go over what you just said there? And
yes.
So obviously in that final date, right? Well, the second to last date, I guess, where she says to me, I'm gonna go with my other connection, and then I'll stay for the drink, right? That's the date where I get dumped, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of that date, I don't think this is shown, she actually says to me in the date, oh, I feel disconnected with my decision. So she actually says that to me. I don't think you guys see that. I don't think that was shown. She says it in her interview, her one-to-one interview, but in the actual date, she said,
okay.
Oh, I see.
She's like to me, oh, like, this is right at the end of the date, yeah. After I've just been told that I've been pretty much dumped, she says, oh, I feel a bit disconnected from my decision. I'm literally out the door because obviously there's a voice, yeah. I call it the all-seeing voice, and they're telling you to leave the date, and I'm like, you can't say that now. The date's over. What does that mean? And then she's like, yeah, I feel disconnected from my decision. Then I'm like, well, maybe I'll see you tomorrow. And she says, maybe. And I'm like, well, I might not be here tomorrow. I don't know. Because at that stage, in my mind, I'm going home. Yeah. So, because she'd already told me that, she's going to go with Demla. So then I walk into the lounge. In regards to him seeing me, I can't remember. I walk into the lounge, yeah, and I always smile and walk into the lounge because I want everyone to think that I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
So I just
You're
walk
just
in.
always smiling in general.
I just walk in, yeah, and I smile. And I think either Jed or Tom asked me, how was the date? And I was like, it was interesting. And I was like, it was probably the most interesting date I've had so far. I didn't say why. I didn't say I got dumped. And I can't remember if Demla was looking at me, to be honest, because the room, I don't know how it looks on TV, but the lounge is quite big. Like, but the way they can, because there's so many cameras, they can make it look like someone's looking at you, even if they're halfway across the room.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
So I don't know. I can't remember, but yeah, I don't remember. All I remember is I definitely came in the lounge. I smiled, and then it was either Jed or Tom, and they asked me how the date was. And I remember, like, I want to say to him, "Oh, the date." She just told me it's over, but I didn't want to say anything because we wasn't talking about our dates. Like, me and Demla weren't talking about our dates, and I knew that if I tell them, they're going to tell him. I didn't want to affect his dates. I don't want him to affect mine. So I just said it was interesting because it was interesting. It was the most interesting date I had.
So the next thing that we see with you guys is that Demola goes to see Katisha first in the TV edit.
Yeah.
And he says that he's blindsided. But like we were a little confused on our podcast, at least, because like based on the edit, you had clearly been still around and he was aware that you had been seeing Katisha. So like we were like, would he really have been completely blindsided? What do you think about that?
But he would be blindsided. No, he would be though, because you got to remember the day before he was told not to worry.
Yes, I've been like completely, because then obviously if you were coming back from dates with Katisha and smiling all the time, and if I was Demola, I'd be like, well, so maybe something changed because Javen's still around.
Maybe, but like I was blindsided too.
Yeah, I'm just basing this off of what we saw on the TV edit. Yeah, and then I'm like, now that we get the more information from you, I'm like, well, if you guys were so secret from each other, then yeah, it would be more blindsiding. Like this kind of fills in the holes for us. Yeah.
But obviously, I would say on his side, I can understand why he says he's blindsided, because as far as he's aware, his last contact point with her, he was told not to worry.
Oh, definitely.
So he's going into that day on the final day thinking that all I got to do is propose and we're going to the next step.
Yes.
Naturally. And if I was told that, I would think the same thing. So I understand where he's coming from. And then on my side, that's even why, like, I'm sure we'll get to it. Like my proposal was a train wreck because I didn't actually think I was going to propose. That's why I made the comment, oh, she's got to propose to me, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I'd even said all of that stuff was just because, like, I was checked out because I thought, well, I'm gone. So the only way that I was willing to propose was to get like I guess that the ultimate reassurance that you really want to be in this with me, which was her proposing to me. Which it was a bit tongue in cheek, it's a bit of a joke, but I meant it though. I meant it. I stand on that.
When you, I know you said you had your bags packed, but what percentage confidence did you have that Katisha was picking you and not Demola?
Zero. Like
zero.
That day,
zero.
That day, yeah. Obviously, every day me, Bill, and Cal were going to the gym every day. So that the night before, I packed my bags. Then in the morning, I left out gym wear and clothes to go to the set where we record. Those were my only two outfits I had available. Yeah, everything else was packed in a suitcase. And then, so I went to the gym that morning, had a shower, got changed in what was wearing for the day, and then went to the set for filming. So as far as I was aware in my mind, this was just, it actually went in there to say goodbye. That was really, I just felt like, you know, just because she's going with someone else doesn't mean that I should just leave. I just thought, you know what, I'll go in there, say goodbye, wish her well, and that'll be it.
Wow.
Now, was this on in filming, was this on like a day where everybody proposes?
Yeah, so it's 11 days and everyone proposed on the same day, even though it looks like Billy proposed in the first day.
Yeah.
No, it's not quite like that. And Netflix actually posted on the Instagram like how the format works.
So, but you just did not assume so, and then all of a sudden you were like, "Oh, I have to propose." That's what happened. So can you walk us through what
in that on the last day?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they do, is like obviously me and D are separated because they don't want you to know what happens, of course, because they know that we're both for the same person. So at this stage, when I go into the pod, I have no clue that she has said no to D. I'm not aware of that. As far as I'm aware, like I'm gonna. So I go in, and then this isn't shown, but I'm pretty much kind of giving a slight monologue about, you know, her. I appreciate her, blah blah blah. But obviously, I can't be second best. I'm gonna go home. They don't show any of this, but I give a bit of a speech, boom, 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 and then she cuts me off, and then she actually says, you know, if it means, you know, that you would stay, I'd even be willing to propose. Obviously, I can't remember the exact words, but something along those lines. Then I was like, oh, no, you ain't got to do that. I was like, I'm going to propose. So I didn't actually plan to propose, but that was, for me, that was like, okay, she actually is in this with me. Wow. What? Now, the one question I should have asked is, what made you change your mind? And I don't recall ever asking that question. I probably should have. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up proposing, was just off the strength of her kind of declaring that actually she changed her mind. And I was confused as well, though. Like, don't get it twisted. I was confused. I was like, whoa, what just happened? But I never asked a question, which sitting here today, I should have.
Your smile beamed through the pod wall.
Yeah, right through the
You
wall.
saw it. Yeah.
Maybe she was aware of it.
What was Cyprus like for you and Katisha?
So that was probably my least favorite part of the whole process, even though it was like the best part in terms of like, 5-star resort, you get looked after, but it was the filming. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with the filming when we got to Cyprus, because it goes from 0 to 100 real quick, in a sense of, in the pods you just get filmed in the pod dates, you just get filmed in the lounge. In Cyprus you get your own camera crew, like they're with you pretty much 24 hours a day. So that was a big adjustment, kind of just going from getting filmed a couple of hours to now getting filmed pretty much all day. Also, I think it's underrated, or it's not emphasized enough how difficult it is to go from talking through a wall to now being with someone in your space 24 hours a day. So even if you like them, like you're in their space all the time, they're in your space all the time. Like you're actually attached at the hip. Like we have to go everywhere together, we have to eat together, sleep together, not shower together, but shower, like we're all sharing everything. And we're both quite independent people. So I enjoyed that though. Don't get twisted. I enjoyed that. So, but it's I guess it's underemphasized how much of, like, in your mind, like, wow, okay, this person just here with me all the time, and we just met. So, it was good, but it was challenging.
This is
Katisha in her interview said that this moment in Cyprus was the peak of your relationship.
Really?
She thought that was when you guys were really vibing the best and things were going really well.
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
I enjoyed Manchester more than Cyprus.
Okay.
I enjoyed like being out of Cyprus. I enjoyed, because Manchester felt more like real life to me. I can understand why she felt that way though, but Cyprus just didn't feel like real life. I don't know, it just felt like we was in some fairy tale, utopia where everything was just too good.
I'm starting to think you and Katisha were incompatible.
You're giving like opposite answers for all these questions.
Crazy.
It's really funny. What did you think of Cal?
Not a lot of people have asked me that question. So I have a few different thoughts. I guess the first thing I would say is that, like, I don't think Kyle did it from a malicious place. I don't think he was being malicious or anything like that. I didn't know at the time. I knew he spoke to her, but I didn't know what that conversation looked like until I seen it on the telly, just like you guys. But I knew that she wasn't happy with the way that conversation went. My opinion on it at the time was, well, look, I understand why he's asking, because it is confusing for everyone else because of the way Demola was. Like, Demola was in the lounge saying, she's my wife, blah, blah, blah. So, and he wouldn't be like that unless he was told something. So for everyone else, they were like, what the hell happened? They were confused. So I kind of said to her, look, like, I kind of understand why he's asking. I don't know how he approached it. I wasn't there. A lot of people have kind of said, oh, maybe Cal didn't like me. I think that if Cal didn't like me, he would have told me, because I was with him every day. So, and I would have told him if I didn't like him. So I think he was thinking about it from Demola's standpoint, but also my standpoint, because there was times where he said to me, oh, what if she can do that in 24 hours, what could she do to you? So I think he was trying to be the savior for both of us for some reason. Did I think it was his place to ask those questions? I mean, not really, but it didn't bother me, to be honest. And she'll probably say that, or I don't know, but she knows that I didn't really give a shit what anyone had to say.
Katisha was really worried about the other couples creating a story about her and her being painted as a villain.
Yeah.
From your perspective, like, how legitimate was this concern?
She was definitely worried about that. Like, I think that ruined her experience, if I'm being 100% honest. I think the whole love triangle thing just ruined her experience. So, and I've got to choose my words carefully here, because it's not just about the couples, but outside forces.
Right.
Outside forces outside forces affected her.
Yeah.
And
pushing narratives,
and they didn't give her an opportunity to kind of break free from that. And as much as me trying to be a supportive boyfriend and fiance and try and push her to kind of be like, look, everyone's saying whatever they're saying, but you know, just you can just ignore them, like don't give a shit what they say. I can say that, but she's you know, we come from two different places. She hasn't been through what I've been through. My mentality towards certain things is different to her mentality. So I shouldn't have expected her to just be like me. Where me, I don't give a shit what Cal's saying, what Billy's saying, what Jed's saying. Obviously, I respect them, but I don't care. They're not in bed with me. Like, I wouldn't want to be in bed with them. They're not in my relationship. I'm not in their relationship. I couldn't give a crap what's going on over there. It's about me and you. So, but not everyone's mentality is like that. So as much as I was trying to get her to have that mentality, you know, it definitely affected her. And I tried to be there for her as much as I could.
Why didn't you talk to Katisha on the plane ride back from Cyprus?
On the plane ride back from Cyprus?
You didn't talk to her. She just told us.
Is that what she said?
She said you didn't talk to her.
she said you were raw dogging it.
Yeah, she said you were raw dogging it.
You're just looking forward at your seat.
I definitely fell asleep in that flight. I don't know. I can't remember.
Why didn't you talk to her? Were you mad at her?
No, I don't remember that. On the flight back from Cyprus.
Yeah, she said you didn't talk to her, and she's
got a peculiar memory because I don't know what she remembers.
She thought you guys had a great time in Cyprus, and then you got on the plane and you didn't talk to her
for the whole plane. So she's saying, she's saying, I didn't say a word for the whole plane.
She said that she's like, "Do you want to watch something on my iPad?" And then instead, you were like, "No." You like just ignored her, and then you just raw dogged it.
Wait, is she saying? Let's be clear, because I like to use precise language. Is she saying that I ignored her for the whole ride? I didn't say a word to her. Ignored her.
I think there were. She mentioned there were words spoken at the beginning, and then it got quiet for the rest of the way. Yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest. I just flight from Cyprus back to.
And please don't like directly quote us. We don't have the director language. We don't have the soundbite right now.
No, I don't.
Don't make this.
If anything, I'm most curious about the raw dogging.
Yeah, do you like to raw dog it on flights?
How do you do it? I don't remember. I definitely slept probably half that flight.
Okay. She made it seem like you just stared at the back of the seat in front of you. You raw dogged it the whole flight.
Every flight I go to sleep. I fly a lot, so I definitely sleep.
Maybe with your eyes open.
You're not practicing the current raw dogging trend.
No, definitely not. Okay. Headphones in, music or podcast.
We know you like to keep your headphones in. This is a big thing that you do. Yeah. Okay, this is the question we have. You and Jed have this conversation where you hang out by the side of a river, and Jed even says something like, "I don't know what I'm doing here." Why were you guys by the side of a river?
Why were you guys by that river? That was weird.
It was me that said, "I don't know what we're doing here."
Okay.
Yeah. I remember that.
You guys, do you go to that river often?
Did you guys just like hang out by rivers? Did you throw stuff in the river? Skip rocks?
The powers that be.
They were like, "Oh, this is such a nice."
They were like, "This is your favorite river."
The powers that be. They, we just do what they tell us.
They were like, "Oh, what a cool river! This will be such a cool show."
We just do it.
It was funny because we've never heard a contestant like actually like comment on it and say like, "I don't know what I'm doing here,"
and then leave it in the edit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they left it in the edit. It's so bizarre.
It was also like such an unscenic shot. It was like,
yeah.
They had a vision that we didn't have.
It's like the back of a factory and like a river.
They had a vision.
Yeah, well, it played great actually. So Katisha says that it was her decision to reach out to Demila and that she went through production to do so. But on the show, you made it seem like you really encouraged her to reach out to Demila. What's the truth? We need to know.
So wait. This is why you should have got us both on the pod together. Would have been.
We're gonna have to have another.
Wait, just so I'm clear. She's saying that it was her idea So recap.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna say that is categorically incorrect.
Whoa.
I got love for Katisha, and I'll call her after this, but
So
maybe
was it
she's
your idea or the powers that be idea?
it was my idea.
Okay.
It was my idea, and I heavily encouraged her to do it because of how much everything else was affecting her, and the way I had seen her off camera. So I just suggested, like, you should meet him, like, and do it on. And I suggested do it on camera so that you can kind of take back control of the narrative. Now, maybe she's got a different recollection of events, but I remember.
Do you think she would not have reached out to Demla if it wasn't for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think they would have spoken at some point. They would have had
at the very least at the mixer, right? You would think.
Yeah, I knew they would have spoken at some point. So, but it was more honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, my mindset was I wanted her to be able to control her story to some degree. So that's why I felt like it would make sense for her to see him in person on camera.
Was this you being nice, or is this part of your savior complex?
It's me being a supportive fiance.
Supportive savior, yes. What's up with your blanket? The people want to know.
I'm not at home. I wish I was at home.
I know.
We should have done this. We should have done this at my house.
All right, so we're gonna have a third podcast. You and Katisha. You have to be at home with your blanket.
I'm up for it. Yeah, you know what? It's just I just had it from a young age, man. Don't worry, I take it to the dry cleaners, so it's all right. It gets clean.
At the mixer where everything went down, you and Anu talk about how you should have dated more in the pods.
No, she asked me that. Let's get it right now. She says to me, Jav, why didn't we date more?
And what'd you say? How'd you respond?
I said, well, it's the show, isn't it? It's the show. That's how you know how the show goes.
And then what'd she say?
After that, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I haven't rewatched this, I watched it one time and it was right before the reunion. So I watched the reunion. That was it.
You don't consider what you and Anu did as flirting?
No.
It felt a little flirty. I'll say on the flirt scale of 1 to 10, it felt like a 2. Which I would not say. I would not say it's like egregious. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say your discussion with Anu is
it could just be a natural flirtatious tone that you have.
Yeah, it's not like a breakupable offense. I'm not condemning you.
If she came to me, right?
No, I'm not. The Anu thing is fine, especially the way you recollect it.
I mean, that's what
it was flirting. It might not be cheating flirting,
I wouldn't even go that far, I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go that far.
You don't think you don't think it registers on the flirting scale?
Nah,
really?
I'm not having it. No, she comes to me and says, "Why didn't we date more?" What do you want me to say to that? I don't know. I'm not. I don't make the rules.
I am an engaged man now.
I am in love.
And then you look away.
I don't control the process. So, that's what I said to her. Like, that's basically what I said. I'm like, it's the show. You know how the show goes. Like,
you need to put your fingers in your ears and scream as loud as you can.
Yeah.
Run away.
Okay. So, all right, Sophie, I know that it was jokey. 1 to 10, where would you put that?
On the flirt scale.
On the flirt scale. Because there's no way it's a 0.
So let's go over what
and then on 0 to 10 on the joke scale too. We want to know.
Yeah.
She makes a crude joke about her vajayjay, right?
Okay.
You can say vagina on the podcast.
Okay, yeah. She makes
or
a crude
vulva.
That's very particular. Then what do I say? I say, oh, that's naughty. You need to stop. But I'm laughing as I say it. I'm like, oh, that's naughty.
Yeah, you're like, oh, stop.
Oh, behave, buddy.
I was like, no, that's naughty, right? Like, that's naughty behavior.
Naughty.
You should stop.
You sassy little man.
You should stop that naughty behavior. Is essentially now. Is that behavior justifiable? No, it was wrong. But what I will say is, if you actually look at what I say verbally, I don't really say much. I'm more like just standing there, just laughing, because I know what she's trying to do, which is why I wasn't really saying too much. The only thing I said that everyone seems to, which I actually think is the smallest thing, was, "Oh, you don't live far from here." The only reason I asked that is because I know that she lives in Manchester, and for me, that is a very generic kind of question or statement. If I'm in your area and I know you live locally, it's like a generic way of just be like, "Oh, like you don't live far from here, right?" Like, not like, "Oh, you don't live far from here, i.e., I'd love to go to your house later." No. That's not why I was asking, because I wasn't going to be able to go to a house anyway, even if I wanted to, which I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be able to go to a house anyway. So
why'd you ask for her address then?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, the more words you say, the less I'm buying what you're selling, man.
I didn't ask for her address. If we just got to remember what I said specifically.
I don't know.
All I said was, "Oh, behave."
I think flirting is more like vibes than words sometimes, and you guys were
vibing.
You were vibing.
You
I
were
can vibe with
vibing.
anyone, male, female. You know, I'm just a good character. I'm just a funny character. What can I say?
Okay.
I don't know if we ever saw you calling Cal naughty.
Well,
I don't think we ever saw you
all
say,
the moments with me and Cal
boy.
together have been scrubbed from the show. They didn't put it out. So
okay.
Maybe if they do it behind the scenes, they'll show
we'll have to see those
So let's get to the
videos
question. Let's see how you talk your way out of this one. But 1 to 10, where on the flirty scale do you think you and Sophie's conversation was?
Yes.
That one is probably like a 3 or a 4.
Ooh. Or a 4. Okay.
So a normal person would rate that like a 7. So that's pretty high for you.
Nah, that one was tame.
And then Ben had a good idea on a jokey.
Yeah, joke scale.
Joke scale. 1 to 10. Where are we at?
10. It was very jokey. 10.
Oh, wow.
The whole show in general. The whole show in general on a joke scale for you.
The whole show.
Yeah.
The whole experience. 1 to 10.
But it's in stages.
Okay.
So like at the start, it's like high on the joke scale, but then as you progress, it just gets more and more serious.
Okay.
So by the end,
is like 0 on the.
By the end, it's 0. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Even by the mixer, it's like
you're just not having fun anymore. You're not laughing anymore.
I mean, I'm always laughing, but it depends what. But the question is, what am I laughing at that stage? I guess
it was like so instead of 0 to 10,
style.
It's like smile to gut busting laugh. Okay, gotcha.
Did you really not notice that Katisha was upset when you got home that night?
So that's a good question. That's a great question.
Thank you.
So you see 2 moments, right? You see us upstairs, me eating a burger, I got sauce in my mouth, all that stuff. And you can see she's upset. What they don't show you is me asking her what's up, like what happened. And what she tells me, and she tells me she had an argument with Anu. So when we're upstairs at that particular stage, obviously you guys don't see the argument with Anu. And you guys don't even see me. You guys don't see.
She told us about the argument,
right,
in her interview. Yeah,
and you don't even see her telling me she had an argument with Anu. So as far as I'm aware, when we're upstairs, she's upset with Anu. That's what I know at that particular point. We go downstairs. Then this is the bit where you see me on my phone. I'm calling Kieran. I get my jacket, and then I just leave. It didn't happen like that. She's on the bed. I ask her. I say to her, like, these guys are going out. Do you want to come? She says no. And then she asked me, like, why do I want to go? I'm saying, no, I just want to say goodbye to the pod squad. Like, come with me. She says no again. So then I ask her why. Like, why don't you want to come with me? Like, why don't you want to come out? And then she says she's tired. She told me she's tired. Now I knew she was upset, but you guys might notice in episode 7 and 8, there's you'll see in our interviews and stuff where we start talking about how we're having issues with communication, right? Which I think the way they planted that in there was quite weird, because you guys don't really see the communication issues in the earlier episodes, which they could have put them in there. But anyway, so within that, she says no. I say why. She says she's tired. So I'm thinking, is there any? I know there's something else here. It can't just be Anu, but she's not telling me what it is. So I'm just thinking maybe it is Annie, maybe she's tired, maybe she's just overwhelmed, whatever. So I double check. You sure there's anything else? She says no, it's fine. Go. So then I'm like, all right, I'll be back. And then I go. Now, should I have went? No, I shouldn't have went. It's a bad move. It was a mistake. But I really wish she would have told me. That's and that kind of leads to when I was saying about the communication issues. Is like that was like a symptom of how I felt about things in the way that we communicate, because she. And I don't know how the viewers kind of perceive her, but she didn't express herself as much as I would like. And it was something that I tried to really push over time. I know why, because she had told me previously that like the reason she finds it difficult is because in previous relationships, when she did express herself, it wasn't received well. So I was just thinking, okay, how can I create a space where you can just say what you want to say and say how you feel without worrying about backlash or worrying about what my reaction is going to be. But yeah.
Are you aware that was a big concern for her too with you, was the expression aspect of everything and all that? So like you guys had the same issue with each other.
So she never, I can't sit here and specifically remember anything where she had mentioned that she doesn't like how I respond to her, because me, I'm not really like gonna be screaming and shouting or say anything crazy. I'm just gonna probably respond logically and think about what you actually said. So I was always trying to encourage her to just kind of say how she feels, just be blunt with me, like don't beat around the bush. Like I want you to just be as raw and honest with me as possible, because you know you're not gonna hurt my feelings. Like it's fine, even if I don't like something, I'm gonna try and process it before I respond. Because I don't want to escalate a problem if it doesn't need to be, and also I don't want to sleep on any arguments. I'd rather just try and get it out of the way. So I'd expressed from very early on in the pods, like that's just the way I prefer to communicate. That doesn't mean that her communication style is wrong or bad. Right. It's just different. Yeah. It's just different to mine personally, and I think we just never got to that middle ground where we found what works for both of us. So yeah,
just not compatible.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through what happened at GAY that magical night? Did you have fun?
The big night.
You know, the funniest thing, I didn't even have any fun like that. Wow, was shit. To put it bluntly. So I get there. I got there pretty late as well. I was probably like the last person there. No, Demolo was the last person there. So yeah, I get there. Say hello to everybody. And then I can't remember who I spoke to first, but obviously everyone wants to know about Sophie. So we'll just get to Sophie first. So me and Sophie were talking, and then I know I've said it's an argument, but I think argument's probably a bit too strong. But we was having like an animated disagreement about some stuff behind the scenes, something that a producer had mentioned to her versus what they said to me. It was going back and forth on, no, this is true. I'll say this is true. And we're both quite stubborn. It was getting a bit heated. And then she goes in the photo booth. I go in the photo booth. We know there's no curtain. We won't go over all of that again. The disagreement continues.
Did she say, let's go to the photo booth, or did she
She just walked in there, and then I just went in behind her. And then, mind you,
when you entered the photo booth, were you like, this could be viewed improperly?
Yeah, were you like, this is weird, like that we're in a photo booth?
Yes, but no, because in my mind, I'm just thinking, well, we're arguing. If we go outside and we leave the venue, everyone's going to be like, oh, Jav and Sophie are outside. What are they doing? I'm thinking, well, the photo booth's wide open. Everyone can see us. So if anyone does think anything, they can actually see us. They can view us. They can see us. Everyone there can see us inside of it. So I'm like, well, the only way to fix this is just to really, I shouldn't have just went in there at all. That's the only way to have avoided that situation. Because if you go outside, everyone's going to be like, Jav and Sophie are outside. What are they doing? Oh, we can't see them. So then the Chinese whispers get even louder. We go in the photo booth. Everyone's like, Jav and Sophie shouldn't be in the photo booth. I shouldn't have went out in the first place. But by being in the photo booth, I stayed visible to everybody else. So there's the lesser of two evils in my mind, I guess.
So when Megan was talking about this, she said that then you spoke with Yolanda and Anu, and you said that they all make you happy. She made it sound like you were flirting with everyone. Were you flirting with everyone?
I mean, there's a lot of girls out that night, so that means they also have to be flirted with all the pod squad. Let's just put it this way: they lied about the curtain. What else could they have embellished in the story? That's the question that I think we should be thinking about. I wasn't flirting with Yolanda or Anu. You can ask them yourself as well, and I'm sure they will corroborate that. Especially Yolanda. I think Anu thinks I was flirting with her, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, but we're not going to interview Yolanda. Like she wasn't really on the show. And we reached out to Anu and she didn't respond. So we tried.
I'll message her and see why but yeah. So no, I didn't flirt with all the girls. I wasn't with them all night. I spoke to all of them and actually told Katisha in the morning that I spoke to all of them. I actually told her that straight away when that morning before what you see on camera. I actually told her off camera that I spoke to the girls that night, and I even told her, I said to her, Sophie's a bit weird. I didn't really like her energy. I told her that. So even that's why you see in the argument with me, Katisha, I'm like, well, I told you this already. I told you I spoke to her. I spoke to them. But anyway, so I spoke to all the girls that night. So I never denied that actually, but I did deny the way that it was presented. But I did speak to all of them. And then the next part, which from what you guys see and what I'm arguing against, is Megan says I spoke to the girls that night, but it's what Katisha actually says to me is that she says that Megan told her that I was with Sophie all night, which is why people are saying, I'm getting onto the semantics. But remember, I'm not aware of the conversation that Megan and Katisha had. So what the viewers need to remember is I don't know what was said. All I'm hearing is from what Katisha's been told. So she says it to me that way. That's why I was like, whoa, that ain't true, because I spent the night sat next to Patrick, Demola, and Yolanda. So that can't be the case. And that night, I've got footage on my phone of a lot of the evening. So when people were saying certain stuff, I knew there was no curtain because I had images and videos.
Why didn't you post it?
Where's the footage?
I didn't need to, because I'm like, well, I knew at the reunion they were gonna do something. I knew something was coming. So I was just like, well, I knew from the jump that I wasn't lying about certain things. I was like, well, you know what? Let's see. Because I just knew. So I was just like, there's no point. But all the footage is there. We've got 1 million group chats of other people with those girls that are not me. So when people are saying certain things, I'm like, what's the agenda here? And you know what? I'm going to take it a step further. There's a timeline of events that take place, right? Because that night, right, the next day we go to Scotland. Then we spend 2 days up there or 3 days. So the day that Megan actually tells her is 4 days after. Yeah? Is you with me? It's 4 days after that night. So in my mind, I'm like, even that day or the day after the argument with Katisha and she leaves, in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm really close with somebody and I think that their partner's doing something a bit odd, am I going to wait 4 days to tell them? I don't know. I'm asking a question. I personally wouldn't, but I can understand if you might want to, because you want to see them face to face. But if I love somebody as a friend, I'll be on the phone to them the next day. Yo, I think you need to do XYZ. So that's the only reason I think. Was there some type of agenda? What was the motive behind it? Because
this is something that Katisha actually agrees with you a little bit, because she didn't realize that she was walking into a situation where Megan was even going to be talking about you.
Yeah, she sort of got blindsided.
She said, it's nothing bad, just come over.
So she didn't know really what she was walking into either.
I have loads of different theories, but
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, I think it's impossible to say that. I mean, it's definitely very clear that Megan was playing and Kieran were playing into production's hand. That's definitely clear.
You don't have to say it, but we can say it.
They were more loyal. Megan and Kieran were more loyal to production than they were to Katisha. They could have given them. They could have given her a heads up.
A heads up, yeah.
Let me put it this way, innit? Let me put it this way. one thing I learned about all this stuff is like you kind of got to learn to play the game a little bit, and certain people are better at playing the game than others. And if you look at the history of the individuals, you'll know that they're aware of how to play this game in a certain way.
And entertainment kind of front-facing people.
Sure, yeah.
They mastered playing the game. Now, I hold my hands up though. Of course, I've given them ammo to play with. I've put bullets in the chamber for them because of my behavior. And I can accept that, and I can be responsible and hold myself accountable and apologize. I can do all of that because I know that I made some wrong moves and I didn't play the game. I don't play games, but I didn't play the game like they played the game. So I think that, one of the things people ask me, oh, why wasn't I sad when she left? It wasn't that I wasn't sad. It was just that I was disappointed. I was disappointed that, she took someone else's word over mine, but I personally felt like, okay, if you're willing to do that, then for me, I don't even want to have a conversation about it anyway. Like, I don't want to personally.
You want to talk to us about it. New friends.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Yolanda, I'm sorry I said we don't want to interview you. You're a very nice person.
Yeah, really, seriously.
I really like, maybe we can grab a drink sometime when I'm in Manchester. You seem really cool. All right, back to Javen.
Yeah, we don't want to seem dismissive or anything.
I don't even dismissive. We're just really busy.
We got a lot of interviews.
We're really busy right now. We got to prioritize. So let's get to the breakup. Oh no! Let's get to the trampoline park. Was this your favorite moment of the show? Your smile
so happy.
It wasn't just your smile. Like your whole essence seemed happy, bouncing up and down on the trampoline.
I wish they showed more. Like there was so much. I was with the kids like for at least 45 minutes. Like
there were so many trampolines. Yeah.
We did a lot. We did a lot there.
The happiest we ever saw you.
And they recorded a lot of it, but one. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm blaming the edit all the time, but I do have to blame the edit because
they didn't show your cool bounces.
They made it look a certain way. But yeah,
they didn't show the times you got sent way up high.
Yeah, meeting the family was good. It was interesting. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Here's a question from a listener. Do you believe that Katisha taking the word of Megan has anything to do with her not feeling supported throughout the relationship?
She was supported throughout the relationship.
But she didn't feel supported throughout the relationship.
How do we know she didn't feel supported?
Well, in her interview, I don't think she felt supported by you.
Is that what she said though?
I think that she felt that when she spoke to you, she felt that it was a lot of you talking about yourself and not talking about you guys enough in the future.
Okay. I know what you mean.
Well, yeah, partially.
I know what you mean because she's expressed this before, as in like she felt like I wasn't viewing it as a union. It was like I was viewing it as like me and her separated.
And apparently she said that she didn't at the reunion. She didn't feel supported by you.
I don't think she said that at the reunion. What she did say is she felt like she wasn't sure if I even liked her. That was what she did say.
Yeah, she does talk about that.
She did say that. So what was the initial question? Sorry, so I can answer it. I want to answer it.
Do you believe that Katisha taking the word of Megan has anything to do with her not feeling supported throughout the relationship?
Okay. No, is my answer to that. I don't think it is to do with that. I think that it's actually to do with her past scenarios that have been similar to this. As in, she's had some scenarios where she's had men that have cheated on her or mistreated her. And I think that she was just like, I'm not letting this replay again. And then compound that with what she was told by Megan and what she believed, it kind of went hand in hand, and then that's probably what made her leave.
From my sort of perspective, I don't know about you, Max, but like just these two interviews back to back like this, it's really interesting hearing both of your perspectives. And I will say that it really looks like you both came into this process with a very different vision of how you wanted things to go. And I think that probably played a big part in some of these bigger moments. Was I think you like the way you even speak about the show. You're saying, you're using words like the game of it all, and you seem to have a much more bigger awareness of the television aspect of it and the production aspect of it. Whereas Katisha's going into it, I think, with a much more sincere, not to say that you're not sincere, but a much more like a want for a relationship, a long-term commitment. And I think these two visions are just very, very incompatible.
Yeah.
And it really makes these moments worse when they come up.
Yeah, and you make a good point. And I think that now, I don't know. Obviously, I did listen to. I don't know how you guys in the interview went with her, but there is a, and it depends on how many guys you speak to. Yeah, but I think the guys and the girls will have very different opinions on certain things. I think a lot of the girls. Well, I can't speak on for all the girls. I'm just going to say that Katisha. I think there is. I got to say this without getting in trouble, but there's a level of naivety with how they handle information that's fed to them or to her, and what she does with that, and how much she expresses to the powers that be. and then, because depending on how much you feed them, can almost determine how they can manipulate what happens. So although you're saying I use certain words, the reason I'm aware of this is because I don't want to be manipulated. And sure. Again, I don't know what was said, but I can only tell you from my angle.
Do you think that your hyper awareness of being on the show got in the way of the relationship at all?
No. In fact, I think it would have worked out better if she was more aware, because then we would have been able to actually ignore the bullshit. Because what happens is, like, I'll kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, a tiny bit. Essentially, like, every day, you get your welfare checks. They talk to you about like how you feel that day, blah blah blah, and like they separate us for these meetings, right? And like, she'll be upstairs talking for like 45 minutes, and my welfare check is like 10 minutes. And sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck are these lot talking about upstairs? But the reality is, like I said, like, the more you feed them, the more they manipulate you. So I'm like, I would be like, yo, and I'll tell her this. I'm like, just be quiet. Don't tell them anything. Like, let us just have our moments and we'll do what we want to do. Because that's how it's genuine. That's what makes it real. Whereas, because I know that we're on a show here and they've got to make a show, I want to try my best to not feed into that. So when I say there was a bit of naivety, like, I mean it. And there was. And again, I'm trying not to say too much without getting in trouble, but I'm hoping you can read between the lines. And then even down to her leaving. Now, there's her leaving. I don't know if you guys asked her about this, but her leaving, yeah. Like, okay, let's say 25% of it was her, but then the rest was other things.
Oh.
And like, she's even admitted that. And I can't say too much, but like, she wanted to come back, and I wanted her to come back. I was happy for her to come back, because then we could have had an actual conversation about it. But like, even her leaving, I don't even blame her for leaving, because I know that it wasn't 100% like her. Okay, like, yeah. I can't I can't. I gotta leave it there. I don't want to say too much, but
okay, but you say that these outside reasons were the majority influence for why Katisha left the show.
yes, obviously she wanted to leave as well, but
yes, but she may have stayed if not for a narrative push.
Your words.
Yes.
Our words.
I'll just nod.
Yes, our words.
I'll just nod.
And a nod. Yes, for the audio listeners.
Yeah.
I will.
And sorry to cut you, but
no, you're fine.
And
no,
like she's corroborated that with me because like she said that to me. So yeah.
I will say that that is one of the first things that we talked about in our interview with her, that she wishes that she had kind of like known more about went on with the TV stuff, and that she didn't really think about it when she applied. So that is something that she also kind of corroborated, that she wishes she had been more aware of. She did talk about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that casting was intentional with those types of things of casting couples who or maybe casting people who don't think about the TV side of it as much?
No, I just think that men and women are different. Like we're just different, and because when I spoke to the other guys, they would say similar things about. Obviously, I don't know how the other girls were handling it, but they would say similar things about how much they expressed themselves to the outside forces.
I think
it was pretty universal amongst the guys that.
Yeah, and I think the men just tend to like. Firstly, men naturally sometimes we tend to keep our feelings to ourselves, but on top of that, you learn very quickly. Oh, when I say this, you guys keep doing this. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna say anything, and we'll just do what we need to do. So that's why I keep saying, like, the more you feed them, the more they're able to manipulate. So if you just don't feed them, you can kind of just control it. You can control it a little bit to a degree. So if one person is not saying anything and the other one's saying everything, then I'm almost getting manipulated because they're knowing things that I didn't think they did know. I'm talking in riddles, but I can't say what I want to say.
We get it. Yeah.
We have also interviewed people from a lot of different shows about what happens behind the scenes, and it does seem,
even like competition shows too.
Yeah, from competition shows, and it does seem that women get pressed a lot harder than
100%.
And like the things that we hear that women go through compared to the way that men are treated on these shows, it's way different the way that they're talked to.
And this is an interesting question too, which I think plays into what we're talking about is you were recruited. Mm-hmm. Katisha said she applied. Would you say this is the case for most men were recruited and women were applying, or was it a mixed bag?
Yes, this season, from my understanding, all the men were recruited. But someone made a good point to me that it's almost like in London, like we have like them speed dating get-togethers, and it's usually like there'll be like 80% women and 20% guys are there. Like guys just don't show up to those things. So someone was saying to me like that's kind of how it is for casting for dating shows in the UK, because men aren't putting their hands up to do this stuff. It's like, yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
I can see that.
Why didn't you take your AirPods out when Katisha told you she was leaving?
Great question. That is a great question. Well,
was it a really good podcast? Was it our podcast?
Are you listening to Reality Alert?
Maybe. So that argument scene, there's so much that they don't show that is like, I can't watch. I've only watched this once, so a lot of this is kind of even I've forgotten about most of this. But so I'm upstairs, I'm cooking, I got my headphones in, and I'm watching football at the same time, or soccer. And I remember because Arsenal were playing Man City.
Thank you for saying soccer, by the way.
Yeah, I was so confused.
I'm aware. Remember, I lived in the States. I lived in the States for nearly 5 years. So
okay.
So I'm watching the game, and then I can hear something downstairs, but I'm not quite sure what's going on. I go downstairs, and as soon as I get down there, I see the camera and I'm like, whoa. I thought I was being ambushed. And the reason I say that is because, usually when you film in, you get mic'd up, like, they prepare you to be filmed. So as soon as I saw the camera on and I see him in the closet, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I knew something was up. Then I walk in the room and she's packing her bags and I'm like, okay. So then I ask her, what's going on? Then you see the argument. The reason I didn't take my headphones off is because, well, I just turned the volume all the way down so I could hear her. And then, but even in the argument, like the argument ends, yeah, and it has me just walk off and go upstairs. Now we've been sat on this live or this podcast for an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm hoping, or I'm assuming you can tell that I'm not the kind of person that would just walk away from the room. Yeah, I'm quite a combative person naturally. Anyway, I never walked away. I said to her, I said to her basically, let's stop arguing. How about you go and get Kieran and Megan and bring them back here? Because if you believe what they're saying, we can all hash it out, all four of us, and then meet me upstairs. That's what I said. But they trim that out and they make it look like I just walk off and go upstairs. That didn't happen like that.
Okay.
I have to say, the way it was edited, it looked like you walked off and went to the gym because you had your AirPods in. I thought you went to the gym.
Yeah, you pulled a cow or something.
If the gym was upstairs.
I didn't know where you were going. I didn't know what was happening.
It's really interesting to hear all the splicing going on from the editing. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you feel that your argument with Kieran and Megan was productive? Did you feel it was a productive argument?
It wasn't productive, no. No, it wasn't productive.
Did you feel better afterwards?
I mean, I never feel good making someone cry, but
minus that part.
I think it was important that they knew that I wasn't gonna just sit aside and be silent while someone lied about me.
Mm-hmm. What was the reunion like for you?
Better than all the other guys.
Were you relieved that there was drama going elsewhere going into this?
No, I wish the best for all of them. So I didn't.
Sure.
It was sad to hear. It was honestly, I knew that obviously the couples are broken up, but I didn't know the specific. I didn't know the stories. So when I'm on stage hearing the stories, I was just like, whoa, like wow, like this sounds crazy. Like the Sarova and Cal thing, the Billy and Ashley thing. I kind of knew about Jed and Varda. I didn't know the details, but obviously I knew. So
you didn't know about those two relationships then?
So I knew that
Billy and Cal.
I knew they'd broken up, but I didn't know the details.
I see.
Of like, especially from the women's standpoint, I didn't know like
that they got broken up with around the same time and everything.
I didn't know those details, so I had no problems with the reunion. I felt fine. I kind of had an idea that the curtain stuff was going to be brought up. I knew that people was going to highlight me talking to the girls and the way that it looked on screen. So I was kind of prepared for all of it, and that's kind of why. And I don't have an issue handling those scenarios. I think, and it's interesting because there's people in the crowd, and the recording of it is about 2 hours, maybe more than that. You guys only get an hour of it. Like there was so much more. They've obviously got to trim it all. I kind of felt sorry for. Basically, the reunion is like a men's bashing show. Like, let's just bash all the men. That's basically what the reunion is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like it's like let's bash the men. Men are evil. The women are these angels, deities who never do anything wrong. They're the perfect human beings. While all the men ain't shit. That's basically what it is. So
no lies
are
detected.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess so. So so I kind of felt okay because I kind of came out all right from it compared to some of the other lads.
So I guess the people want to know, would you go on Perfect Match? This seems like your audition for it.
Would I?
Would you go on Perfect Match?
I personally don't know if I'll do any more dating shows.
Okay.
Because, I have to be really honest with myself. I think if I was going to do anything, it would need to be something longer where you guys are gonna really get to see my personality over time, because everyone I've spoken to since the show is like, when they see me and they talk to me, they're like, it's so different to what they've portrayed. And I think I want to do some stuff where I'm able to kind of like have the full story kind of shown.
So what would you like to do? Like, what would be your ideal reality show?
Smiling competition.
Yeah.
Maybe something like sporty, something like a fitness show or something like that.
The challenge, maybe.
There's a show in the UK called SAS, Who Dares Wins. I'd like to do something like that. It's like a military show.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a very British title. It's very long. Who are you closest with from the show?
Jed, Demola, a lad named Charlie, Patrick, Tom, Billy and Cal. We talk here and there. A guy named Chris. You guys don't really see much of him. And
So all the guys, basically, besides Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, there's others, but yeah, those are the main guys that I still keep in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the girl side,
have they not sent a request to collab with you on a TikTok yet? Kieran and Megan.
Yeah, you're gonna dance with them.
You're gonna dance with them.
I look like the kind of guy that does silly dances on TikTok. And on the girl side, I talked to Anu, Yolanda. That's it, really. Those two.
Okay.
How flirty are you with them now? From like 1 to
Yeah, it's gone up on the scale a little.
0. Just
Okay.
just check in, make sure they're doing okay. You know, make sure they're handling everything. I talk to Katisha as well, actually. So like every now and then, we don't talk a lot. She doesn't really respond to me these days. So I feel like she needs some space away from me, especially with this coming back up. So I try not to invade her space too much, but I will message her every now and then.
That's sweet.
It's
Well,
like a fairy tale. Yeah.
Javen, this has been a very fun time. Where can people find you on the internet if they want to potentially support you, probably be mad at you?
Yeah, if you want to continue to send me hate, it is just Javen S. Palmer on all my socials. So JAVENS Palmer, PALMER, all one word.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us today. For everyone else, be sure to follow us at youtube.com/reality alert, Instagram at reality alert podcast, because
Also, don't send him hate, everybody.
don't do it.
Be chill. Be nice.
It's just not
It's
worth
okay.
it.
I don't look at it anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be back at 10 p.m. PST interviewing Barda. So that should be exciting. And tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST interviewing Ashley. So that should be very fun. Thanks again, Javen. See everybody real soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's the place you go when you finish your show. We're your two best friends. Our names are Max and Ben. We're self-proclaimed television experts. It's Reality Alert.